Hi Aquarius, I'm going to be doing a self-love tarot message. These are general readings. If they don't apply to you this week, come back next week and maybe I can help you then. These are self-love messages designed for spirit to showcase areas where we might just be letting ourselves down a little bit, or areas we can be more authentic with ourselves. This is a 6-card spread, and then the seventh card I used for spirit message direct. And I shuffled a little bit before we got started, and I'm afraid to turn them the wrong way and have some of them come up in reverse. We want to do uprights. We can get started. Aquarius, this first card is going to be how you're feeling right now. This second card is going to be something Spirit wants you to prioritize, make important. This third card is going to be an area where we might either be consciously or subconsciously letting ourselves down. And Spirit's like, hey, you need to pick that up. Put more energy into this. In the fourth position, we have something that Spirit wants us to acknowledge about ourselves. Self-love is about self-acceptance, and it's hard to accept parts of ourselves that we are not willing to acknowledge. In the fifth position, this is something that Spirit wants you to just let go of. It doesn't serve you anymore. In the sixth position, it's going to be something that Spirit wants you to acknowledge. It could be something that's going on around you right now and you kind of know about it, but Spirit's like, hey, pay attention to that thing. It could be something you don't know. I don't know. And in the seventh position, like I said, is Spirit message. Let's go ahead and get started. Aquarius, Spirit is telling me right now that you feel very sensual. Ooh, look at that. You have these 7 of Cups. The 7 of Cups in the traditional tarot talks about opportunities or possibilities or choices. This one seems like you've pretty much made your choice, Aquarius. Aquarius, you are feeling very debauche right now. You could be feeling some kind of sensual pull towards somebody else. You could be feeling very by yourself, but like the need to be with someone else, you know? Or like you're feeling like you already are with someone else and you're really enjoying it. Must be nice. No shade. Okay, Aquarius, let's see. Universe is saying right now they really want you to pay attention to this Princess of Cups. Okay, well, if you're feeling in a very lovey-dovey mood, then this would definitely be something to pay attention to. The Princess of Cups is a curiosity. What are they curious? They're curious about these emotions. So if you are alone right now, like I am, and you're feeling very like you don't want to be alone right now, then there are probably feelings that the universe is, indicating to you that you need to pay better attention to. If you're in this position where you want to be close to somebody, but you don't have somebody to be close to, I'm seeing that there is probably somebody you want to be close to. You have these feelings that are starting to stir about closeness. The universe says they want you to prioritize excitement. In this position of the thing that, maybe we put on the back burner and the universe is like, no, that thing's ready. Pick it up. Pay more attention to this. Put more effort into this for yourself. And this is the Fool. I would think that there are exciting opportunities or there are feelings of excitement that you have. We have 2 cups here and then we have the Fool. So I would think that there's feelings of excitement or like a new opportunity. This could be you very much into this person, not really telling them how you're feeling about them, and then the universe is saying, go for it. Go. I don't do love readings. I do self-love readings. However, we are individual, but we are not individuals. There's more of us than just us. I think the best thing the universe ever did was to make us separate, but to put us with other people. I personally believe that everything you need can be solved by the people and things you already have in your life. The universe sets you up like that. So while I don't do relational readings, this could be a reading about you dealing with relationships. We have to do that. You'll see stuff online, and I would be very, very cautious, Aquarius, because you'll see stuff online about how self-love is selfishness. It isn't. Self-love is self-focus. There's a huge difference. If you're selfish, it means you don't think about other people. If you're self-focused, it just means you think about yourself first. That's what self-love is about. So here I see someone who has all these feelings, but may not be acting on them. And that goes back to self-love, because why wouldn't you want to act on something? If you really like somebody, and if you're feeling like somebody likes you back, put yourself out there. The worst thing that can happen is rejection. Yeah, no, I know. Rejection is awful. It's terrible. It's the worst thing that's ever happened to me. But it's not also at the same time, because when we're redirected by the universe, rejection is really just redirection. When we're redirected by the universe, we're sent towards something that's for us. And if you are going in the direction of something that's for you, and the universe is telling you it's for you, and if it makes you feel good, the universe is saying, go for it. In an area where the universe wants you to be more authentic with yourself, completion. The Four of Wands in the traditional tarot deck is about having the stability and the foundation, or having enough wands that you can now build the walls to your house. In this one, it looks like whatever it was that you were building with somebody is already finished. And it says completion here at the top. I think the universe is wanting you to acknowledge that something that you've done has come to an end. I don't really know what that could be for you, but so here what I'm seeing is that you're interested in somebody, but you don't want to take that leap. It could be that you don't want to take that leap because we've already had history where things weren't that great. And while that's true, what I was saying previously is also true. No, I don't remember now. But it totally did wrap in together. I can't remember what I was talking about before. But this idea of completion. So maybe you have been through a relationship and it wasn't good. And now you want to start a new relationship, but you're worried because the last one didn't work out. Well, it's important to realize that these are completely separate issues. These are completely separate situations, and they don't always have to be bad. Emotional space, allowing yourself to look at the last situation, and by saying, I'm not the same person, and I wouldn't handle those situations the same way anymore. We can give ourselves emotional space from the past. We've grown. If we were to come into contact with these same situations again, how would we handle them? Probably differently. My last relationship that I was in, my boyfriend wasn't mean. He really wasn't. He wasn't mean-spirited. He didn't say mean things to me. But sometimes he would just do very inconsiderate things. Small things, but a lot. If I was coming inside with the groceries and I was standing at the door and I asked for help, he'd be like, I'm playing a video game. Open the fucking door. One time, he made pizza and he said, do you want to wait for your pizza or do you want it now while it's hot? And I said, I'll wait for it to cool down. And then he comes to the table with his plate and I was like, isn't it too hot? He says, no, I put mine in the freezer. Like I said, he's not mean-spirited, but he couldn't actually focus on me. He was selfish, not self-focused. I feel like with that, because of those things, because I've seen those little itty-bitty selfish things, those are flags for me now. Those are triggers for me now. When I meet somebody and I see small things like that, yes, okay, they're not a bad person, but I'm not interested in that kind of attitude. I'm not interested in selfishness. And now because I have been through that, I can see that more clearly and say to myself in the future, this was the situation. I behaved in this way, but I don't have to behave in this way anymore. I'm a different person. So with your sense of completion, if there's somebody you like, but you're stuck on this, what happened in the past and being afraid that it'll happen again in the future, know that you're not that person anymore and that you would notice things more easily now. So if you like somebody, don't sit and be stuck about what happened in the past. Don't get stuck on those lessons because those lessons are past now. If you notice those things again, though, do not reinsert yourself in that situation. That's what self-love is about. So we grow up learning these habits where we learn that we have to please the people around us as we grow up. And it's not negative. We're social creatures, so we learn to make other people happy. And other people learn to make us happy. But often what happens is we learn only to give away, and we don't actually get back. We spend too much time with selfish people. But now we're changing those habits so that we're also getting back. If I was interested in somebody again who displayed those little things, I would know for a fact that person is not for me. Therefore, I have learned my lesson, and I've taken that, and now I'm, using it on this next situation. And then I don't have to worry. If I'm interested in somebody and then I see these traits, I would just stop being interested in that person. Even if they were very attractive, I would just be like, no, because I've learned. So the universe says they want you to acknowledge a sense of completion. You've been through something, you learn the lessons from it. The universe says they want you to acknowledge that and act in that. Something the universe wants you to let go of is this Empress. The Empress, I can't think of a single thing bad about the Empress, but the Empress is all about feminine energy. In the tarot deck, she is the divine feminine. She is all about going inside and figuring out how you feel. In this letting go, I do not think that they are talking about letting go of your divine feminine, letting go of your feelings. I think because the divine feminine is about giving love, right? So she goes inside and she figures out who she is, and because she knows who she is, she can love and nurture all of those around her. She can. But they're talking about letting go of that outside love, of giving it away. What the universe wants you to do is acknowledge this self-love. This whole picture is about what's going on around outside of her. We want to focus on inside. Aquarius, you are probably very capable of giving love away. For air signs, I know that that's not that difficult. Even for water signs, a lot of the time, we are in touch with our emotions, but then giving them out or sharing them with people is very hard. I think Pisces is supposed to be the best at that. That's just because we're experts at transmuting energy. Aquarius, I think that it's time for you to stop focusing on giving your love away and on how you're accepting it, whether from other people or just from yourself. Sometimes self-love, loving ourselves, self-forgiveness, self-acceptance, self-respect, all of those things have to come from ourselves because it's self-love, self-respect, whatever, what's that thing? I put it in my videos, self-love, and then there's that thing, I can't remember what it's called, but I think this is really about giving love to yourself, accepting love and getting it back, changing those self-love habits. Something universe wants you to acknowledge, something universe wants you to acknowledge is swiftness. Now, usually when the universe says we're going through changes, what it says is, slow and steady. Take your time. Divine timing. Temperance. Prudence. This is not that. This is the universe saying that whatever is coming, whatever it is that you're getting prepared for, Aquarius, it's actually coming very quickly. This sword, the Eight of Swords, and the traditional Eight of Wands traditionally is about swiftness. It's speediness. It is fast moving. And here even at the top it says swiftness. It could feel like a lot of things are going to be coming at you, Aquarius, because if you look, these arrows are flying right past her. Something is coming towards her, but she's defending herself. It could be that you have gone through this lesson, okay, and now it's time for the test. You went through the lessons. This could be a past, again, it doesn't have to be the situation, but since I don't know you, these are the examples I'm using. You've been through this past relationship and it wasn't good for you. Maybe the person put you down. Maybe the person was selfish. Maybe the person was, whatever the things. Maybe they didn't help you with bills and things like that the way they should. We've also been through that, and that was super fun. Hello, yes, you're a grown man. Can you pay half the rent? You're shocked by that? What? Crazy. Anyway, so you went through whatever the situation was, and now you've come out of that. You're done with that. That's not even showcased here except for the completion. It's just over. It's way over there. That was your lesson, and now you're coming into this test, and the universe wants to know that you can recognize the red flags, move in the direction that's for you, and embrace what they've left as your reward. Because lesson, test, reward. or unfortunately lesson test, lesson test. But eventually, I mean, we move past the lesson and then we get a reward. So what I'm saying here is this is all going to come very swiftly for you. And they want to know that you know how to handle it, because you do. You really, really do. You just have to sit down and think about it. Your message from Spirit, what they want you to know is this Prince of Swords. Ooh, this is movement. This is movement, Aquarius. Something's changing. Prince of Swords, much like the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is fast movement, but unlike the Knight of Wands, this is well thought out movement. Not like the Knight of Pentacles. The amount of thought just varies by night. Sorry. So the Prince of Swords for me would be the Knight of Swords. And the Knight of Swords for me would imply movement towards ideas. Or movement away from ideas. Just movement in general. A movement would be yours. But the universe wants you to move. The universe wants you to get going. And this is said, like, come up twice now. So the Fool is about getting started. The Prince of Swords is moving. And he's pulled by the truth. I don't know if you've noticed this. His eagle is represented by truth and freedom. Here in America, anyway. I'm not sure what it is in other places. Are there eagles in other places? I'm going to ask Alexa when we're done with this, because now I'm curious. There would have to be, right? They're birds. I'm going to look into it. So that's what I have for right now. Let's do the clarification, and then we'll do a recap at the end. But what I'm seeing sort of is that the universe is expecting some kind of movement out of you, and that you're a little worried about it. But I think it's going to work out really well. Okay, so we said for this debauch, you were feeling in a situation or in a space where you're ready from like some connectedness. Honoring your energy, okay. So if you've been through this, Aquarius, if this was like a hard thing for you to do in the past, honoring your energy means that now if you feel like you're ready, you're ready. Omens, okay? Keeping your eye out. For me, I actually have been seeing tons of hawks lately. And I don't know if it's just because I've been doing this so much, but the truth card with the eagle on it, I saw an eagle the other day and it was fantastic. It was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Anyway, yeah, so if you were seeing omens, keep an eye out for that. Look out for birds. It's springtime right now, so birds are a plethora. There's just everywhere. But maybe there are different types of omens for you. I know a lot of people who are into numerology, 1111, things like that. Just keep out an eye, because the universe is trying to let you know that they know, you know? We said the Princess of Cups. This was curiosity about feelings. And see, now the universe is saying slow but steady, okay? So I don't want you to rush into this. Just because you're feeling ready, just because you've met somebody that you think that you like or somebody you would hit it off with, does not necessarily mean that that is what it is. A lot of the time what I see happen is people, they watch these tarot readings and they get this idea of soulmates or twin flames or karmics or whatever, and they go into each kind of meeting a new person and being like, this is it, that's gonna be my soulmate, and that's like actually not how it goes. That's not how it goes. It's not. So like, don't think that. And also, don't be in such a rush, okay? I've heard terrible things about like twin flame relationships and karmic relationships. Don't be in such a rush, okay? Slow but steady. If there are feelings that you're interested in, it's totally fine to be curious about somebody. Let's say you've started, there's a new person at work and you've started like hearing them, they talk to people, they maybe talk to you once or twice, you think they're cute, you think they're interesting. But remember, this is the test now. You learned about all those red flags in the past. Be mindful, be open, be watching, be discerning. Because you don't want to get yourself into the same situation again. It's all good. Okay? Slow but steady. Don't rush. Don't be afraid. Take things as they come. That's really difficult for me. I don't know about you, Aquarius, but it's funny because I'm like a Pisces, I'm supposed to go with the flow, but I'm really impatient. Like, I will go with the flow, I totally will, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, maybe out loud too sometimes. Okay, and then we said the Fool. The universe is telling you, go. Dun, dun. Go. You have a green light. You have a green light. It's not telling you like, fly out of the gate or run for home or anything like that. It's just telling you have a green light. You have these feelings, you're curious about this situation, you have a green light to go ahead. Transformation. Okay, that's why I really do think this is the test, because you have changed. You might not be aware of it yet. You might just actually need that medal at the end of the race to say, okay, you got the bronze. Keep moving, keep going towards that goal. You have the green light to start going. Reunion of souls. Okay. If you know anything about Horcruxes, this is my Horcrux card. As we grow up, we develop those habits where we give parts of ourselves away, our love, our energy, or our time. And we don't learn to give or expect to get back. This reunion of souls is you redirecting those habits and learning to get back. You are not meeting up with another soul. There's no twin flame in these readings. This isn't about them. This is about you coming back to yourself. And that's beautiful. Because, think about it. If you did go through a rough relationship, there might have been times where you were just giving. If you're a people pleaser, if you have a trauma response, or your fawn thing or whatever, then that's what we do. We just tend to try to make the other person happy. And we give so much of ourselves away. We don't deserve that. And so here we're learning that we have the green light to move ahead with something else. But universe wants this to be different this time. It wants us to get back as well. The universe said, if you want to be more of who you are, more authentic with yourself, you have to acknowledge that whatever happened in the past is over. It's over. You don't have to worry about it anymore. You're not going to go through that situation because you are different now. Growth. You have grown. You will continue to grow. Aquarius, this is very nice energy. Sorry, I pulled out 7 cards. Home. Let me go home. Home is whenever I'm with you. I don't think this is your home with someone else. However, there is no reason that acknowledging this completion, moving forward, and practicing discernment can't lead you to that forever home kind of feeling. I think this feels like you coming home to yourself. Being in bad relationships are so bad for us. My last ex, who was selfish, right? Yeah, it started off with little small things, but it got more and more. The farther we go along, I would think that in a relationship you get closer, not farther apart. But a lot of people don't have the same motivation going into a relationship that you do. And that has nothing to do with you. That's about them as a person. It didn't get better. In fact, it got so much worse. It was never terrible because I've already learned those things. So this is basically straining for the fine crap, the leftover crap that you don't think about in the beginning, but then will actually build up and get you in the end. He threw a fit. I took him to a pumpkin patch to be nice. I was like, hey babe, let's go get pumpkins, little carved pumpkins. And he was like, the fuck is a pumpkin patch? And I was like, wow, you're on YouTube for 17 hours a day. You could definitely look up a pumpkin patch. You could get that, that's fine. And we get there and we're gonna go on the hayride, and I'm so excited. And the hayride can only take a certain amount of people. We're at the very front of the line, but then because there's people that already get on, we are now at the very beginning of the next line. And I guess that was too much for him. I guess as a grown man, he could not possibly wait the 12 minutes for the train to go back around. And he threw his pumpkin down on the ground and he yelled at me and he said, I want to go home now. In front of a line full of people, a line full of people. The lady behind me goes, sis, you don't need that. And I was like, you're absolutely right. I don't need that. Because again, his attitude and his actions, while selfish, they were never aimed at me. He wasn't trying to, be really mean to me. He was just selfish and couldn't see past himself. But now I know all of those things and I see them and I wouldn't like them. So we've moved forward. If I get into another relationship with somebody, it won't be one that would have anything to do with what I went through already, because we have that completion. So there is no reason that if we follow this advice, we can't get into a relationship that leads us home. We're home to ourselves. The more relationships we're in that we don't give all of ourselves away to, the closer we get to what we really want. I hope that makes sense. I don't know if I can make that less wordy, you know? When we stop allowing shitty things, we only get closer to better things. Okay. Universe said they want you to let go of this Empress, this giving love out. It is time to focus on receiving love. Both, because it's a self-love spread. So don't be like, I'm going to be the selfish one now. That's an awful idea. Don't change to be worse. Change to be better. Psychic development. That's what I'm freaking saying. Okay, so giving love outside of yourself, but also like intuitively, okay? As we learn these lessons, we are learning about ourselves. As you learn to listen to yourself, your ability to listen to yourself gets better. And because your ability to listen to yourself gets better, you come to be in tune with your intuition. Our intuition is basically just our parasympathetic nerve system, okay? Your gut bacteria. I know you've probably heard of gut bacteria, but for example, I like to drink coffee at home because I really like coffee. And I like it to be sweet, but I like it to taste like coffee. When I go out to get coffee from places, my hometown doesn't have like a coffee shop. It just has like a, whatever McDonald's or Sonic has. And like, don't get me wrong, I love Sonic coffee. It is super duper addicting. There's so much sugar in it that I think that they only add coffee flavor. But it's actually sugar with coffee flavor in it. It is delicious. But if I have one, I want one every day for the next 3 or 4 days because my gut gets so used to all that sugar. We don't want you to get so used to all of the negative or all of the other stuff that, you know, you can't make better decisions. Your psychic ability. So me drinking all of that sugar is basically like me just dumping like a whole bunch of different stimuli into my environment and then trying to pick one. I'm really sorry. I'm trying to figure out how to say this. Your intuition is inside of you, okay? And if you add stuff on top, you're burying that intuition down. So the more time that we spend on our phones, the more time we spend listening to other people, watching the freaking news, please turn that off. Please don't watch that. If you need to know about what's going on with the weather, ask Alexa. The news is going to put you into a state of panic. That's literally what the news is designed to do. Maybe not your local news, you know, like your 6 o'clock local news, but like they do a lot of like, oh, this person was shot and some people died by COVID. So like maybe it's not designed to put you into a panic, but definitely news will put you into a panic. So you have to be really careful about that. All of these stimuli that we add to our environment suppress our intuition. The more time we spend listening to ourselves and getting rid of all of that other crap, the more easily we can listen to ourselves. If you are spending too much time giving love away and not acknowledging that you need love in return, then flipping this script and focusing on the love that you're giving yourself is going to drown out all that other energy, and you're going to be able to focus more heavily on your intuition. That was my point. I'm really sorry that it got so convoluted. I was just trying to make it make sense. Sorry. Past, present, and future. This is my habits card. This is my daily habits card. In the past, there must have been something else going on. For whatever reason, that cycle did come to a completion. I don't have any information here on like what led to that, so I'm not really sure what the cycle is that you're going through. This is going to have to be something for you to decide. But in focusing on this giving love or receiving love back, you're going to change these habits. You're not going to be somebody who just gives and gives and gives and gives anymore. You're going to be giving and receiving. That's that integration. That's that divine feminine. That's a divine masculine. That's full integration. That's ascension. The universe wants you to know This is all going to come to you very quickly. It really will. You might feel the need to defend yourself, but I don't think that's what this is about. Divine timing, yeah. So it says swiftness, but then it also says divine timing. So what's going to happen is, oh, you've seen that meme and it's like, grab my hand, we got to get ready to go. Okay, run, let's go. It's going to be like that. It's going to be like everything is fine and normal until you get to this one point, and then it's going to be like, boom, off and running. It might feel like a burden. Yeah, change usually does, especially swift change, especially when something comes and like you have only like a day to react to it. And then all of a sudden it's just pushed you off into this different current and you're heading in a different direction. It can seem like a burden. But remember that you've come through it. Remember that you're already done with this. Completion, it happened, it's over. You have learned all the lessons. This is your test. And once you pass that test, you're going to get your reward. Duality. I told you we'd get to it. Duality. So just remember the good and bad come together. That's what life is about. You wouldn't be able to appreciate the good unless there had been a bad situation. And you wouldn't even know good unless you experienced bad. And then what would be the point in having bad if you didn't have good to balance it out? Duality. You're going to have to integrate all these aspects of yourself. Being someone who can so readily love, because I see that. I see that love is just there. It is just dying to get out of you. But also someone who can receive love. I know that there are all kinds of people out there. Maybe you've had experience with this, like a mom. Think about a mom, okay? A mom is always doing things for other people. Always, 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 always on the go. She's going to work. She's driving people from school to practice to work. She's making dinner. She's doing laundry. She's cleaning the house, or whoever does it in your house or whoever. But like, think about it. And then when she wants something done, does she ask for help? Probably not. What she probably does is complain that no one ever helps her or like yells at you until you do something. She's good at giving love, lots and lots, but when it comes to receiving, she's not that great at it because that's not what she's really used to. For the last 12 years, she's had to raise her children, and that's always been about giving. So you don't want to be someone who just gives. You want to be also someone who can receive. It feels really good when people receive love from you. Stripping illusions, but it also feels really good to receive love from other people. It makes you feel so good to give out love, to tell people you love them and that you care about them. But other people want to be able to do that for you too, Aquarius. So you're going to have to integrate both parts of that, okay? That was my last card, and so I'm just going to do a really quick recap. You're in this area of this feeling that you do have love to give away. You want to be physical. You have someone you're interested in that you're curious about, and the universe is giving you a green light, but you're nervous or you're scared because you haven't acknowledged the completion that's happened to you in the past. You've moved on, Aquarius. Focus more on getting love back. You're already amazing at giving it out. Continue to give it out, but focus now heavily on receiving it. Let it into you. It's going to happen quickly, but the universe wants you to make movements. If it comes, don't just sit there. Go with it. Follow the truth. I really hope that helps, Aquarius. If you need anything else, my email address in the box below. Go ahead and, reach out to me. Have a good day.